After everything Jamie and Claire survived, it may all end at King's Mountain. But the most shocking part isn't Jamie's possible death. It's what Claire might do next. Because for years, Outlander has been teasing one massive mystery: Jamie's ghost. And now the final episode may finally reveal the truth nobody was prepared for. Is Jamie really destined to die? Or will Claire unlock a power so dangerous it changes the entire story forever? I still cannot believe we're standing this close to the end of Outlander. After all these years, all the wars, heartbreak, reunions, sacrifices, and impossible love stories. We're about to watch the final chapter unfold. Episode 9 already started tying major storylines together, but honestly, it also felt like the calm before absolute chaos. Because now everything is pointing toward one devastating event: Jamie Fraser's fate. And if the trailer is telling the truth, Episode 10 could become one of the most emotional episodes this series has ever made. Episode 9 finally gave fans something they've been waiting years to see. William, Jamie, and John finally stopped running from the truth. For so long, William carried anger, confusion, and betrayal inside him. But the beautiful thing is that he finally realized something important. Both Jamie and John truly love him. Neither of them wanted to hurt him. And the moment William accepted that he could be both a Grey and a Fraser, you could literally feel the weight lifting off his shoulders. That emotional wall finally came down. But what made this even more satisfying was watching Jamie and John forgive each other too. Their friendship has always been one of the strongest emotional foundations of the series, and seeing them divided felt wrong. Episode 9 quietly repaired that damage. Even though their scenes together were brief, they carried so much emotional history behind them. It felt like the show was reminding us one last time just how much these characters mean to each other before the final storm arrives. And honestly, that's what makes this so terrifying. Because the episode almost felt too peaceful. Whenever Outlander gives us emotional closure like this, something painful usually follows right after. The writers deliberately wrapped up several major conflicts before the finale, and that may be a huge clue that the final episode is going to focus almost entirely on Jamie and Claire. Their love story has always been the true heart of the show, and now everything is pointing toward the biggest test they've ever faced. But then there's another mystery nobody is talking about enough. Fanny. Episode 8 introduced that strange buzzing sound she heard in the woods, and surprisingly, Episode 9 barely touched her storyline afterward. That cannot be accidental. Outlander rarely introduces supernatural elements without payoff, especially this close to the ending. And now fans are starting to believe Fanny may become incredibly important in the finale. The trailer gives us one heartbreaking moment, where Fanny hugs Claire while crying, and that scene feels loaded with meaning. At first, it looks like she may simply be reacting to terrible news about Jamie, but there could be something much deeper happening here. What if Fanny discovers the truth about time travel? Think about it. This poor girl has been drowning in grief ever since losing Jane. She misses her desperately. And if Claire finally tells her the truth about portals and traveling through time, then Fanny's first instinct would obviously be to find Jane again. Her emotions would guide her completely. In Outlander, emotions and connection have always played a huge role in how time travel works. The stones don't just respond randomly. They react to desire, memory, pain, and love. And that changes everything. Because if Fanny accidentally discovers a portal herself, her heart could lead her directly toward Jane. Suddenly, that buzzing sound becomes far more important than we first realized. It may not have been random at all. Now let's talk about the moment everyone is terrified of. Jamie Fraser's possible death. For multiple seasons, fans have lived with this fear hanging over the story. Every battle, every goodbye, every emotional speech felt like it could be Jamie's last. But episode 9 made the danger feel horrifyingly real, because now Frank's book confirms something devastating. Jamie dies at the Battle of King's Mountain. At least, that's what history says. But history inside Outlander has never been simple, because there's one thing Frank could never predict. Claire. Toward the end of episode 9, when Mr. Cleveland arrives and warns Jamie that war has arrived, the entire tone shifts immediately. Suddenly, the peace disappears. The trailer then throws us directly into the chaos of battle, and one specific moment stands out above everything else. We see a man on horseback charging directly toward Jamie while Claire screams in horror. That shot alone feels like a death sentence. And honestly, the show wants us to believe Jamie dies there. But what happened next may become the biggest twist of the entire series. For years, Outlander quietly planted clues about Claire's mysterious healing abilities. We saw Master Raymond save Claire using the blue light. We saw impossible healing happen before our eyes. Then later, Claire somehow resurrected a stillborn baby using that same power. And the detail most fans keep overlooking is this. Claire only accessed that power during overwhelming emotional pain. When she brought the baby back, she was thinking about Faith. Her grief unlocked something inside her. That may be the key. Because if Jamie dies in Claire's arms, her sorrow would be beyond anything she has ever experienced before. The emotional intensity could trigger the blue light again, stronger than ever. And suddenly, Jamie's death may not actually be permanent. But there's one terrifying problem. Claire still doesn't fully understand how her power works. She cannot control it consciously. It only seems to emerge during moments of unbearable emotion. So if Claire tries too hard to focus on the ability itself, instead of the emotional connection behind it, the power might fail completely. That possibility makes the finale even more intense, because we may watch Claire desperately trying to save Jamie, while realizing she has no idea how to activate the very thing that could save his life. And honestly, that would completely destroy fans emotionally. But if Claire saves Jamie, then how does the story explain Jamie's ghost? That's the mystery haunting this series since the very beginning. Long before Claire and Jamie's love story fully began, Frank Randall saw Jamie's ghost standing outside Claire's window in Inverness. That moment has followed fans for years because it never received a real explanation. Why was Jamie there? How could he appear before they even met? And why did he look young? Now the finale may finally answer everything. One of the most popular fan theories has suddenly become more believable than ever. Fans remember that years ago, Jamie once told Claire he would endure 200 years of purgatory just to see her again. At the time, it sounded romantic. But now it feels like massive foreshadowing. Because Jamie's ghost appears young, around the same age he was before Culloden. That detail matters. Some fans believe Jamie truly spends centuries in a purgatorial state, watching over Claire across time until they can finally reunite again. Not trapped in hatred, not trapped in fear, but trapped by love itself. And honestly, that theory fits Outlander perfectly. Love has always been stronger than death in this story. The finale could show Jamie surviving King's Mountain, thanks to Claire's powers, allowing them to spend many more years together peacefully. We might then get a montage showing their future, family gatherings, quiet moments together, old age finally catching up to them after a lifetime of survival, and then death. Not violent death, peaceful death, the kind earned after decades of suffering. But then everything changes again. Because after their deaths, Jamie's spirit may begin traveling through time itself, revisiting memories, watching over Claire, and eventually appearing outside that window in Inverness exactly as Frank saw him all those years ago. That would close the loop perfectly. Suddenly, the beginning and ending of Outlander would connect together in one emotional circle. And honestly, if the writers pull that off correctly, fans are going to completely lose it emotionally. The craziest thing about this finale is that no matter what happens, somebody is going to suffer. If Jamie dies permanently, Claire's entire world collapses. If Claire saves him, she may fully awaken powers she barely understands. If the ghost theory becomes true, then Jamie's love story becomes even more tragic and beautiful than anyone imagined. And the final episode trailer already feels emotionally devastating. The battle scenes look chaotic, desperate, and terrifying. Claire screaming during the attack feels painfully real. You can already imagine the moment where she runs toward Jamie, terrified she's too late. That scene alone might become one of the most unforgettable moments in the entire series. But there's also something strangely hopeful underneath all this darkness. Outlander has never really been about war. It's never truly been about time travel either. At its core, this story has always been about two people refusing to let time, death, history, or fate separate them. Jamie and Claire survived things that should have destroyed them 100 times already. And because of that, fans still believe they can survive this too. Maybe that hope is exactly what the writers want us to feel before the ending hits. Because whether Jamie lives or dies, the emotional impact is going to be enormous. This isn't just another episode anymore. This is the ending of a journey fans have carried for years. We watched these characters grow older, lose people they loved, survive impossible tragedies, and still find each other again and again. Now the story is preparing for one final goodbye. And honestly, I'm not ready for it. If the finale really reveals the truth about Jamie's ghost, it could become one of the greatest endings in television fantasy history. But the biggest question still remains. Will Claire actually save Jamie at King's Mountain? Or was his death always unavoidable, no matter how hard she fights? And if Jamie's ghost truly spent centuries waiting to see Claire again, just how tragic is their love story really? Let me know what theory you believe before the final episode changes everything forever.